I'm low key just fucking spamming triangle as much as I can to get like a strong attacking first, and then that's when I start with like the square attacks.
Square's my go-to.
Alright, back.
Alright.
You getting fucking stabbed, bitch.
But you're playing Dying Light 2, right, Bam?
Yeah, I got that on the Series X. So
yeah, where are you at in that?
Shit, I'm trying to think. The last significant thing I did was I delivered those brass knuckles to the peacekeepers.
Oh, okay. All right. So
then I found the guy who had poisoned that water. So that's really what I've been doing.
See, I really like the game, and especially when you get to the second map, it really opens up and what you're able to do as like in terms of your skill.
Yeah.
The story is the weakest part so far. It even is.
Really?
Yeah, I think the story is the weakest part. I think it's good. I think it's good. I don't think it's like that great though.
Is Dying Light 2 a topic? Because I might just hold off on talking about this before.
I think this game, but like, how far are you, Krow?
What are you playing?
I mean, I'm 10 hours in. Like, I think the story so far is pretty good. Like, I do like.
Are you on the second map yet?
No, I didn't make it that far yet.
Okay, so I will say that like the story starts picking up a bit more when you get to the second map. Like it becomes a lot more like, okay, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. It's like, all right, that's where you meet certain characters. I won't spoil it, but yeah, man, it's great though. Especially that second map. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, when you get to the second map.
Okay, so we're good to start?
Yep.
Yeah, let me pause my game. All right, we're good to start.
Okay. So yo, what's up? Welcome to episode 17 of Nest Talk. This is your host, Theslykrow, and this is the show where we talk about some of the big gaming headlines and what's trending in the gaming media. And once again, I'm here with my man, Agent Deli.
Hey, hello, my name is Agent Deli. Welcome back to our little podcast here. We've got a guest today on the panel, we got a couple guests today on the panel. But yeah, my name is Agent Deli, and I am a former developer at Ubisoft.
Yeah, always a pleasure to have you on. And not only is he an ex-AAA developer from Ubisoft, and not only does he have an extensive, great history of gaming, but he's a dope guy in general, so I always appreciate you coming on. And I got my guy from the UK, Joker Gamer V3.
Yo, what's up, people? And thank you for having me, Krow and Deli. It's great, man. Like to have this conversation, and I see that the two guests that we got, too, is going to be a pretty interesting conversation that's going to be happening today. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, for sure. And we also got the good homie, Bam Bam V3.
Yo, what up? Krow, man, again, thanks as always for having me on. Everybody, if you catching this either live or if you watch this back, make sure you check out the homie Krow's channel, check out Deli's channel, check out Joker be streaming, and check out the GOAT SoapBoxGames. His latest video just hit 14K views. So yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Check everybody out.
Uh-oh, famous. We got a superstar in here.
Dang, that's crazy, yo. What was it, 14K?
Yeah, it just reached 14K the other day, I think.
Wow.
I've really just been keeping up with the comments because there's a bunch of comments coming in. I like talking to the people. So, but yeah, this is SoapBoxGames. Thanks, Deli. Thanks, Krow. Always love coming on and talking to you guys. So it's gonna be a good one today.
Yeah, for sure. And once again, this is episode 17. And before we start, I just want to say, I'm gonna fall back what I said about Pokemon last time. Bam Bam was
yes, sir.
pretty
No
disappointed
Pokemon
about
slander. That joint just hit 6.5 million.
Yo,
yeah, I was about to say that.
Selling crazy.
And a lot of people who shit on Pokemon talking about the graphics and it's only on a Switch and it's below 1080p. Y'all out here hyping up the goddamn Steam Deck, and y'all gonna be buying that day one. So I'm gonna need no more Pokemon slander on this podcast or in the chat. That's all I ask.
I heard the story's pretty good.
Oh yeah, That shit.
My
hit.
brother's been nonstop playing it, dude, and he has like several hours into it, and he hasn't even left the first area yet. He just absolutely loves that game.
Fire.
I asked him if it was his favorite or if it was possibly like potentially the best Pokemon, like one of the better Pokemon games, and he said it's definitely top 5.
Yeah, bro, it's good, man. If you guys haven't tried it, I do recommend trying that game out. I don't know what it is about like the new gameplay loop, but it's so addicting. Like, and everybody knows like the game ugly as hell, right? I can't cap and try to protect this game, but the gameplay. This is why Nintendo games sell like they do. And this is why people hype up these games how they do. It's because the gameplay is something special. And I feel like Game Freak, the Pokemon company, they definitely did something special with this new iteration of Pokemon.
I think their freshman effort is probably what people see the most. Like, this is definitely something that has a strong foundation that could be compounded on a sophomore, venture.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a good step in the right direction for Game Freak. I still do think that they do need to up their visual quality.
I don't.
Compared to like
I think it's fine.
Compared to like Xenoblade or like these other big big games like Zelda Breath of the Wild. Also, I thought that looked like a really good visual appealing game. So I do think they do need to step up their graphics for the next title, but I do think the mechanics that they have is definitely a good step in the right direction. I do like I was a fan of Pokemon Go back in the day, and I feel like this captured the living with Pokemon in the world, and like the animations are honestly pretty well done in this, and the whole concept of the alpha Pokemon that you have to face in the world, like that's a pretty dope concept too. So I think they have a good they have something good going for them, but we'll see what happens with the Game Freak in the future with the next title. And so shout out to Game Freak for reaching 6.5 million sales worldwide for Pokemon
Crazy.
Legends Arceus, or it's Arceus. That's how you pronounce it. So it's definitely huge for them. And
you still ain't say it right, bro. You still ain't say it right.
It's not Arceus.
I'm gonna tell you how it's pronounced. It's pronounced the goat.
All right.
Moving on.
Alright, sure. Okay.
Boo,
Okay,
corny.
so
Tomato.
actually let's start with our icebreaker, and let's start with what have you all been playing over the last week, and let's start with Agent Deli.
I've been playing Sifu, and my old lady bought me Horizon Forbidden West. So I'll be playing those two majority throughout this week and next week.
Oh yeah, that comes out next week. Oh,
Yes,
shit.
sir. Friday.
Be forgetting.
Alright, so it's just Sifu for now, or is there any other titles?
I've been really trying my hardest with Halo Infinite, but I'm gonna be real. This new update better be bringing the heat.
I wouldn't hold your breath, Deli.
It's not. Hey man, it's not really hooking me right now. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm playing Halo just to play Halo. Like, if that makes any sense. Like, just to have, like, to play it. Like, it's an IP that I like. It's an IP I'm familiar with, so I'm just playing it to play it. But I'm really having a hard time trying to convince myself that it's hot.
Yeah, Halo.
Okay, and let's go with Joker Gamer V3, and what were you playing over the last week?
So the games that I've been playing this week is basically iRacing, because I'm addicted to that motherfucker. So I've been just trying to grind my levels on it. Other than that, coming back on Tekken 7, trying to grind my rank game up, and at the same time playing Sifu. Like, I just bought it today, and I was playing it for at least minimum of 2-3 hours now so far. So yeah, man, it's interesting. That's what so far now. Right now, I'll be focusing on Sifu and iRacing as of now for this week. Although I wish I could be sitting there and grinding on Horizon Forbidden West, but unfortunately, I still don't have a fucking PS5, bro. Get me out.
You'll get it, man. I believe in you, bro.
Yeah, I hope so. Motherfucker's been waiting for almost 2 years.
Hey, bro, you You'll get it, man. You'll get it.
I appreciate it, man. I just hope it comes back on stock.
Yeah, so let's go with Bam Bam V3 and so what have you been on over the last week?
Yeah, so I've been on the Holy Trinity, that being PS5, Sifu, Xbox Series X, Dying Light 2, and Switch. I've been gaming on Pokemon, so that's really
This
been
man,
really
been
hardcore
trying to
find
gamer.
time, you know what
Real
I'm saying?
gamer.
I've
Real
really
gamer
been trying to
hours.
find time.
You
to,
got all the platinums, huh?
Nah, stop it. Stop that. I'm really just trying to find a, you know what I'm saying, a good balance, but it's looking like Sifu is really grabbing my attention right now.
Mm.
All right, that's cool. And let's go with the Soapbox Games. And
Yeah,
yeah.
I've been playing Dying Light 2, which I think is a really great sequel to the first game. I loved the first game a lot. I feel like it really is like a true sequel in a lot of ways, where it improved upon a lot of the issues that I had with the first game. It's not a perfect game, but I think it's a lot better than the first, if not just as good.
Is
And
it
then
worth the wait?
Is it worth the wait?
It's been delayed like what, 4 times now?
Yeah, 4 times, like 4. I think 4 or 5 actually. Worth the wait. I would say so, because I was getting around to a point where if this game got delayed again or didn't drop, I was just going to play through the first game again. So I was kind of itching to play Dying Light again. It's a unique sort of spin on the Ubisoft formula in terms of the open world, which I like.
It's still got outposts and stuff.
Yeah, it's got outposts, it's got bandit camps, it's got, the climbable towers and all of that. And a lot of that's really good. They've added, nighttime now is a lot more accessible, because if you played the first game, you did not want to fucking go out at night at all.
Yeah, for sure. That was definitely a struggle in the first one.
Yeah, like I did not. I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to bed and wait until morning, because the entire game you could just play through and doing during the day. But here now, like, because of the skills you eventually get, especially when you get towards that second map, nighttime's a lot more fun. It's still scary. You're still kind of like a little bit worrisome when you're like going through the streets, because of like the different type of zombies that come out at night. But it's a lot more fun to be, chased down or run away, and you have a little bit more of a chance than in the first game. Some people don't like that. I like it. And for the most part, I really like it. And then I've also been playing Sifu. I'm not as deep in as like Bam over here, but I'm not a real gamer, so.
Yeah.
But no, Sifu's great. Slow Clap, for people not really familiar, they're a pretty fighting centric developer. Their last game was Absolver, which is pretty divisive. You either really like that game or you fucking hated that game. And
yeah, I was in the camp that I didn't like it. It wasn't hooking me.
Yeah. That game had a ton of problems, especially at launch. But it's taking some of those elements that Absolver had and incorporating it into Sifu to making it a lot more faster and accessible for people to come in and sort of get the handle of what's going on. Instead of giving you like Absolver, like if you remember that game, they had like entire move lists, just like a regular fighting game. So you could switch in and out what you wanted, and you really did have to like remember a lot of those combos. Whereas like with Sifu, it's a decent list, but it's not overwhelming to where you're going to be like, well, I got to pause it and I got to look, you know what I mean?
True. That I think it's just for like people who just want to pick up the controller and just get into it. So I think they made it like somewhat streamlined it, I guess, for people to get captivated by the game. Yeah. But at the same time, for me playing fighting games, like I know my shit. Like I play Tekken on a regular basis, and I wish they literally added at least another 5 moves extra, just to make it much more interesting to see how we can combo it up. But I just like compared to Absolver really did have a big extensive list of fucking moves, to be honest.
Absolver was very much a fighting game, like a person's type of game. And that's what I noticed. A lot of people who typically gravitate towards, like classic fighting games, like Street Fighter and all of that, really love that game. Whereas like assholes like me, I was like, well, I can't fucking do this. Especially like when I have to fight another online player who just like whooping my ass.
Whoop your ass. Like some motherfuckers that came online during that thing and it just invaded. Like, bruh,
Yeah.
how the fuck do you remember all these combos? Like, I'm a fighting game nerd and I only remember like at least 10 moves. And those are like my core main moves, right?
Yeah.
And this motherfuckers are just sitting there throwing combos after combos. I'm like, yeah, good luck with this shit. Bye.
Yeah. And I think the biggest
So-
compliment I can give Slow Clap right now is that given what I have played of Sifu, which is like 3 to 4 hours, and what I've heard everyone else say, I think their future is looking pretty bright, along with like delivering a game that is all considered like pretty successful for the most part. I'm looking for, and like I put a tweet out earlier, like if they could do this, like, because I'm a big superhero guy, if they could do a Daredevil game, an Iron Fist game, like a Shang-Chi game,
imagine
with this type of combat, like it's ripe for the picking. Like they could easily do that. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
All right, so it's definitely good. So let's actually move to the first topic, which is the Sifu impressions. And when this game was first revealed in the State of Play of PlayStation last year, it definitely had a lot of attention going for it, a lot of hype surrounding the game. And you know, when the game finally released, it definitely took Twitter by storm. You know, everybody's been posting their gameplay clips, and it's just one of those games where, you know, it's fun to watch other streamers play and have a feel for the experiences of the game. And when I saw the gameplay, it definitely felt like Streets of Rage, kind of like meets Sekiro or Neo. So it's definitely, you know, definitely a good. It's a pretty good concept of a game. And when you see the behind the scenes footage of what Slow Clap did, like the fact that they did the mocap animations with the actual like real martial arts. Like that was a pretty dope, you know, video to watch and like see the, you know, how they actually developed the game. So I'm gonna pass it to Agent Deli, and what were your thoughts on Sifu?
It's good. I mean, I wanted to. I'm not gonna say I wanted to like it more. I didn't really have many expectations about it. So for me, I was like, I'm hoping that I like it. You know, I came into it thinking that it was gonna just be, you know, just your normal X and Y, you know, fighting game, your normal indie game, this and that. But it actually pleasantly surprised me with how much depth that it holds. So I was, I had to take a step back and think to myself like, wow, you know, this is a lot better than I expected. And this was something that I definitely had to reevaluate. So with that being said, it's simple, elegant, easy in its design. I think it's very straightforward. It's very quick to pick up. Learning curve is very steep. So much like any fighting game, it definitely carries the essence of like having to learn to get better, having to understand timings, patterns, all of that kind of stuff. I find it akin to something like Ghost of Tsushima when it comes to the combat. Like it's very simple, it's very easy. You got a couple buttons. It's very quick, easy, repetitive. It's very rewarding instantaneously. So when somebody goes down, like you know, you feel it. It feels very impactful. It's fast, it's fluid, so there's not really a lot of downtime if you choose to not let it have downtime. But when you get punished, it suddenly becomes like it morphs into a different genre. It suddenly becomes something like Souls, or something becomes more like akin to like a normal fighting game where you the game definitely tells you screwed up.
Yep.
There's no like HUD markers. There's no like, oh, there's no blood everywhere. It's like it's just you and your mistakes. Like on
and they do it in the best way possible. They fucking make you age to an old man.
Yeah, so you have a numerical number of like how badly you've been doing, and it really does feel like they've refined and boiled down everything that a fighting game would have or a Souls game would, you know, have, those two niche genres.
Totally.
And they boil it down to something that is more accessible. It's less annoying. They got rid of all the ugly bits of a Souls game. So no stamina, no multiple weapons, no this and that. It just is very bare bones and it's very quick, easy, and fun. So yeah, I'm having a good time. I think I'm 5 or 6 hours into the game right now. I heard some people saying that the game was short, but I don't see it.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you're perfect, like Bam. If you're perfect, like Bam, you could get through it in an hour,
Yeah.
probably.
Stop blowing the spot up, man.
So yeah, Deli did bring up that I did look into it, and actually there's only 2 buttons for this fighting game, and that got me thinking. Is it really scripted combos? Is it kind of like it's like Streets of Rage, or is there more variety there in the gameplay?
No, there's a combo list.
There's a combo list.
Yeah. It's definitely brawler inspired.
Oh yeah. So it's like, I don't know if you guys played again. It's Yakuza games, right? It's got a similar vibe to it when you're having a combat
especially the older Yakuza games. Yeah, totally.
And that's what it feels like to me. And also the fact is that, like Deli was saying, like as you get older, it turns more into a fucking Souls game, right? And it is very interesting concept because, like, when you fucked up, but the game doesn't reward you and be like, all right, I'll make it easier for you. It's just literally making it difficult for you because your strength increases, but your speed decreases at the same time. And then afterwards, as you grow older, your health bar decreases, and your freaking, stamina decreases a little bit, and all sorts of things. So there's a very unique approach to this, which basically, how do you call it, hones your skills into a fighting game kind of an aspect. So as soon as, like, when you start off at the age 20 and you're growing up, going through the level, and then you get your ass whooped by this one fucking stupid ass NPC that comes in and throws a bottle at you. Like, yeah, bro, my stamina gauge has gone down to this point, and I can't defend anymore, right? And then afterwards, when you go to the shrine and you see that skill where it says you can quickly grab the throwing projectile and you can just stop it from hitting you, like, bro, I wish I knew that shit before. So I would unlock it permanently, only to find out later that I don't have enough fucking XP to unlock it permanently. And then I just died. Died. But it's very unique. Again, I agree. It's just very quick for people to grab the controller, having those 2 buttons, getting used to it, perfectly timing it in a specific way, and then afterwards just going through your enemy hordes, especially when you're surrounded by at least minimum of 5 characters and you're trying to rush through it. But when you're trying to rush through it, you don't seem to realize there are other things that's getting thrown at you, or there's some obstacles right there. So it's very interesting, man, for me particularly. Like, so I'll be sitting there trying to master this motherfucker and try to get one above Bam. As you know, motherfucker's got cheats for days. He's been hacking
Gamer
for
King
days.
himself.
So let's get Bam V3 in on
like
this. He did change his name on Twitter to Sifu V3.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. You know the vibes.
This man's the Kazuya master, and let's get his thoughts on Sifu.
Boo.
So just like everybody else said, man, this is a dope game with a lot of little in-depth mechanics in play for an indie game. I'm kind of conflicted though, because before the game launched, looking at trailers and stuff like that, I thought the game was going to be easy. Then when I got the game in my hands, it on the surface level it seemed super hard. But as you play the game, and like I said, I got to the 4th level at only 2 hours and 15 minutes. On surface level, the game seems hard, but as you learn and as you pay attention to the enemies, and when you learn that it's better to just duck and dodge instead of parrying or pressing R2 to dodge backwards, you learn that you could legit just avoid all these attacks, and the game becomes hella easy. And also I have a theory that I'm not gonna test out yet, but I'm gonna try it out. I was telling some of the homies this morning at like 8:00 that I think if a person really wanted to get OP, you could legit go to that first level, which is what's it called, the squats or something.
Yeah, squats. Yeah,
you could go to the squats, play through that level, get to the boss, like upgrade with like, you know what I'm saying, with all the shrines, unlock as many abilities as you can until you can unlock permanent abilities
Yeah.
and get to that last boss as best you can and just let him kill you and then restart your whole run at the squats with, as you know what I'm saying, with a couple permanent abilities, and keep doing that until you get the perfect build that you want. And
Right.
then you start playing the game. I feel like that'll be what's up, Deli?
Are there any skills that you think are necessary? Because I do
Oh
think that
yeah.
it is. I do think that it is possible to play the game with no skill. Like I think the skills are optional. The combos are optional. I think Sifu in its base form gives you everything you need to actually play through the entirety of the game.
Yeah, but I think some of those skills definitely make this ride a whole lot less bumpy, and I feel like that's what's gonna make people. That's when you're gonna start seeing these no death runs, or you
Yeah,
start
yeah.
seeing people roll up with these platinum trophies on Twitter flexing on you. It's gonna be because people made an OP character and they ran and they grinded through a certain level or a certain area. That's what these people are gonna be doing, and that's when you're gonna start seeing these no death runs pop up.
So
I can't
It's a
wait
dope
for that.
game.
on that note, you guys did bring up the roguelike element, and you know, a lot of people have been you know, comparing this to a roguelike. How you know, each one is very specific. How, you know, every time you die, you get to unlock certain skills and abilities. And so, how do you guys feel about the roguelike elements and you know, the cool abilities you get to unlock here?
I'm surprised they keep getting me to buy these fucking roguelikes. 'Cause
Right.
I didn't even know it was a roguelike until I think until I reached like level 75, and then it made me start over again. I was like,
Right.
oh. And then I was like, I should probably buy Returnal.
The roguelike elements, I think they're pretty well implemented. They're pretty simple, like Deli's been saying. It's, you know, it's a simple game. The structure is pretty simple. And it's basically bare bones essentials with a lot of the upgrades. But yeah, I'm surprised, man. These past 2 years, they've been getting me to buy a bunch of different roguelikes just to try them out. But yeah, I mean, besides, I mean, is there really much to say on the roguelike elements, right? I don't even think that's the most important factor here.
I don't think it's. I wouldn't classify it as a roguelike. I would have classified it as a beat 'em up before I classify it as a roguelike.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
much
think-
more of a brawler than anything.
Yeah, but I think it has enough roguelike elements to enhance the gameplay and structure of the game without detracting, like the you know, like, because Hades is a roguelike. So like when you play Hades, like it's built from the ground up to be a roguelike. So you know exactly what it is. So I was talking to my brother about it earlier, and he was like, well, this game is pretty fun, but you know, the only thing that pisses me off about Hades is that it makes me start over the entire time. And I mean, I guess I can use different weapons and stuff. And I'm like, you know, yes, it's part of the genre, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't complain about it. You know what I mean? Where this game, it's like, if you make a mistake and you die, you're still able to pick up exactly where you died. And like, yes, there's limited amount of, you know, times until you die, but the game also does reward you for going fast and doing the multipliers by taking away deaths. So yeah, I think it's much like the best, much like the rest of the game. It takes everything annoying about other genres and it boils it down to just the satisfying bits, and it streamlines it into its own design.
On that point, Deli, how do you guys feel? Because you just said that they take all the annoying parts and they take it out, but I feel like they took the most annoying part in Sekiro, which is what a lot of Souls players hated.
Oh, you think it's annoying? I really like. I really like this aspect.
I'm talking about.
I like it.
I'm talking about in Sekiro, how they like. I feel like most people who play the Soulsborne series, if they didn't like Sekiro, it's because of the posture bar, because that makes the gameplay.
Bro, I love.
That made you.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up, Joker?
Yo, I love playing Sekiro only because there's that element of it where I had to stand there and learn. So, and understand the mechanics of the boss before you get in there. Like, you know taking down other characters is pretty quiet and fast. But then there are certain characters within the game where you had to learn, like, you know, dodge, parry, attack, all of these things. So I'm bringing that element into this game is one of the best things you can do, because if you're a Souls game player and if you want to play this and complete this game, you will learn this game from down to the top and finish that game perfectly. And also it gives that replayable option, right? So the game doesn't just feel stale after a while, because you're so pissed off at this point that I have to beat this fucking level. I had to go past this stage. And it gives, it creates a challenge within yourselves to actually complete the motherfucking thing. And when you do it, the feeling of completing that game is much more rewarding for me personally,
Right.
than, whereas I can just pick up a game like Yakuza, I'll only enjoy the story aspects of it, go through the whole entire story, man. I was like, what did I achieve?
By the way, I love the posture bar. I feel like it makes you become more active, and it doesn't let you sit back and hide behind, you know what I'm saying, behind a block button. But what were you gonna say, Connor?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to go into it, like, kind of what Joker was saying, where it's like the posture bar, like, to relate it to Sekiro, was like exactly what he was saying, where it's like it forced you to learn how to dodge, parry, jump, do all of that in the correct order when reacting to it in real time. But the reason why Sekiro is so great, and why I think it sort of transfers over into Sifu, is because it really wants you to be aggressive. And then Sifu takes it a bit further, where they want you to each time, and the posture bar is a little bit playing into the mechanics, they want you to learn the weaknesses of certain enemies. They want you to look around in your surroundings as well. Like, all right, well, let me vault over this counter and go over to this stool, throw this stool, then I can take down the weaker opponent, then move on to the big guy. It really forces you to, like, really learn the map, learn your surroundings, learn the different enemy AI types. And I love systems like that, and that's why I really take to the Souls games in a lot of ways, because they force players to really come out of their comfort zone and really try something different than they're used to. Because obviously with most modern AAA games in general, it's very handholdy. It's very, we're trying to do a mass market appeal. Whereas like Sifu, I think in general is really like, we don't really give a fuck about that. We're making this game the way that we want to make this game. And I always appreciate that from devs that, keep true to what they what they want to make.
Yeah. Krow, have you played this game yet? Or like, do you plan on playing the game?
Honestly, for me, I think I'm gonna hold off for a bit till Tuesday. It was pretty tempting. Not gonna lie, like when seeing a lot of people play it, it's definitely tempting. But I personally think it is a bit tad overpriced for what it is. Like if you compare,
really?
Oh no!
Here
we go.
No way.
Discussion,
bruh. The fact is that on top of it being full, like let's just say, if the Epic is doing a 10% discount on that actual game
live right now,
and then afterwards, right now, if there was no 10% discount, it's £39 for me, right? I would still pay £39.99 for this game, right?
Right.
The fact is that the replayable option on this game is what I'm happy with, so I will happily pay £39.99.
Hey, before we transition into the price to performance discussion, I just want to say the posture bar I think is great because it is elegantly put in so that it's designed in a way that the game doesn't allow you to, or the game doesn't want you to sit behind a block button, right? So it's like the game is slowly gesturing you to say like, hey, there are more tools to your in your arsenal than just guarding or running away, right? There's a lot more. So to me, when the posture bar, it was like I had to sit here and be like, oh well, I can avoid, or sometimes it's okay to just block, or hey, my posture bar is getting low because I've kind of I was too hesitant, or I wasn't too I was too passive in the last fight or with the last enemy. So it's like there was a moment in the club in the second stage where I was like, I'm gonna run. Like I'm physically going to run and make distance in a circle until my posture bar goes down. And that's just something that the game allows you to do without telling you have to do it. So I like the posture bar. I think it's a really good addition.
Okay, cool. I mean, I just wanted to ask.
I didn't want to get into the price argument, but I actually did want to get into this next topic, which is difficulty in video games. Difficulty did bring up once again with the reviewers bombing. Some reviewers had a bad taste in their mouth when they played Sifu.
Hey, we all know gaming journalists are
trash.
basically the equivalent of like Nazis. They shouldn't exist. They shouldn't exist, and anybody who sides with them is irrelevant to me.
Well, they're Deli. Hot take.
Hot take, bro. Hot take.
Actually, we love
Deli. Tell me about these Nazis.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, 1942, gaming journalists, IGN, the gaming journalist company IGN was created. I'm kidding.
All right, yo. All right, chill on that.
Deli's about to get canceled.
So yeah, if you remember, back in last year, there was a discussion about Psychonauts, and this is when difficulty was brought up again. Actually, this was in the opposite side of the spectrum, where accessibility. It introduced an accessibility option of having invincibility mode, and you can actually complete the game with the invincibility mode and still get the achievement. So that had a lot of people triggered on that. We also had Returnal, where a lot of reviewers bombed that game as well for being too hard. And also some reviewers for Sifu, they were also saying the same thing. And I did want to bring up this one review. This one review was by gfinitysports.com, and so he says, Sifu is jumbled and stressful. Soul Cap's Kung Fu vengeance story is a disappointing slog. I got utterly beat down as soon as the boss started attacking. I got to the second phase of the fight. Every boss has 2 health bars to deplete, but had no chance because I was too old.
Bruh,
hey, whose fault is that? Sorry. I'm gonna chill.
That sentence, that the whole entire review said it all. That motherfucker is shit at playing games, bruh.
But
I love how he was like, bosses have 2 stages. Like that's some new concept.
At this point, though,
he's never played a Souls game, obviously.
At this point, though, like, are we?
But he's never played a game. That's what it is.
At this point, though, like, can you really be surprised? Like, these people, they don't beat these games that they're fucking reviewing. They've been doing this shit since Cuphead. I know you guys remember that whole fiasco when the guy couldn't even get past.
Yes.
This guy couldn't even beat the fucking tutorial. So it's like every time a difficult game comes out.
To be fair, that fucking game is tough. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
that game's fucking hard.
Well, I mean, if you're a large company, you should have a variety of gamers, right?
That's the problem with these companies.
The thing is, actually, if you
don't have enough. Go ahead,
Krow. Are you sticking up for these guys? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm just saying, like, when you look at the website, they actually say at the very bottom, "Oh, I did complete the game," but these are my gripes about the game, and they did end up.
Did they complete the game? Prove it, motherfuckers.
There's been hella articles that came out though, Krow, of big name companies like IGN and people at GameSpot coming out and saying that they don't beat these games.
To speak on that fact, Bam, Tony Polanco came out on Twitter multiple times and said, like, because they don't have so many reviewers, they stack up reviewers with like multiple games at a time. So I think what it boils down to a lot of the times, if a game is extremely difficult and they have other games to review, it frustrates them. And it basically boils down, well, I can't finish this game. I have all this other work to do, which, I think that's the company's fault a lot of the times.
And also the fact is that they have to prove by saying that at the bottom in that small little thing like Krow said, that I have completed this game, right? That is no way in hell is going to convince me that you actually completed this game, right? No one's going to fall for that dumbass.
Which also, like, once again, Tony Polanco has come out and said, like, some of the reviews that he's done, he has not, or not that he's done, but he knows that people in the industry don't finish those games. And I think they do have those same little markers at the end of the review saying they complete the game. So, like, you shouldn't take journalists, like, if you like certain journalists out there, that's fine. I don't really care. I like some of them, but like, don't take what they say as like the word of God, because a lot of the times I have found as I've gotten older, they have no idea a lot of the times what they're talking about, and I think the Dying Light reviews speak a lot about that too.
That shit speaks volumes, bro.
Especially that game, I read a review where they were talking about the crafting system, about how complicated it was. And Krow, Bam, you guys have played it. It's pretty simple. It's as simple as you can get. So like that's why I'm like, these people must have, like what Joker said, never have played a game before. Because if that's complicated to you, which is like an easy ABC crafting system that's like been set up since like 2011 with the Far Cry games, like what are we really doing here? Like, and these journalists, my problem is that they wonder why so many people don't take what they say serious anymore. And the problem is because there's so much I'm sorry. There's not enough authenticity anymore.
No.
And I think you could argue that like gaming journalism as a whole died back in 2007 during the Jeff Gerstmann debacle, if anyone remembers what that is, where he used to work at GameSpot. He was a big name at GameSpot. And then he was fired from GameSpot because he reviewed Kane and Lynch and gave it a 7. And the company wanted him to change the score because they were receiving advertising dollars from the publisher. And that was kind of the start of the decline. And a lot of these other companies now, as you can see, a lot of paid advertisements, a lot of free stuff is coming in from a lot of these different publishers and a lot of these different console manufacturers. Xbox.
Sorry.
But I'm not going to go as far as Deli just said, but
no, man. Look, let me explain. I'm kidding. Now, actually, as a developer, we actually rely on the public and the gaming journalists. The problem is that with being a developer, when Watch Dogs Legion shipped, I had sat here and waited and waited and waited to read every single review. And a lot of these reviews, the reason why we don't like them is that they don't actually bring valid criticisms. They're like, yes, it's a GTA formulaic game. It's boring. I'm like, bro, you didn't say that about GTA, which was a GTA formulaic game. Like, you didn't say that about the last Assassin's Creed that came out. You didn't say that about. It's like, please come out with something that actually means something to us that we can physically use to imbue it, our next project, right?
Yeah.
So they come in here and they say, "Oh, the game's hard." Well, okay, what does that mean? Please tell us, what does that mean? Because when I review a game or when I give you my opinions on a game through Twitter or over here, or any platform that I have a voice, I'm like, hey guys, this is what the game is about. This game has a bunch of systems that are designed to punish you. This game has, a variety of weapons that at your disposal. Oh, this game has a few levels, but each level is littered with a bunch of enemies that really challenge your ability. Right. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, the game's hard, bro. The game's hard because I came in here at an old age and the boss has 2 stages. Like, that's not useful information that we can use to, I don't know, patch in things. Like, how do we know if the boss is broken if you just say, oh, he's got 2 stages and I died because I was at old age? Like, that is not enough information for us to be like, oh, well, you're having a bad time.
Yeah.
Like the fact is that, like, the reason why I started declining, like, just not listening to gaming journalists at all, is because over here there's a company, right? And they literally gave out a review on FIFA fucking 20, right, when that fucking shit came out. And then they literally turned around and said, this is the most depth version and the most beautiful game that I have ever played, and it's worth the whole £50. All right. I'll tell you what, right. I got that fucking game listening to that fucking journalist, and was I fucking disappointed in every single fucking aspect of it, because the game was glitchy as fuck. It was just a copy paste of the old fucking thing, just added new skins to it. And they didn't even have a fucking feature like a new control system or nothing. Right. Because we all know FIFA games will like always gave us that little extra thing of having this little extra control feature, right? But they never fucking even had that. And then afterwards they added this shit from FIFA Street. And basically, it's just a small mode from FIFA Street 3 into the game. And then afterwards, they just reskinned it with the new fucking thing. That's all they did. They didn't do nothing other than that. And for the fact is that this journalist was sitting there and going, yo, listen, this is the most beautiful game ever. I disagree. It's fucking glitchy. It's not beautiful to look at because it's the same old fucking thing that I've been watching. So ever since then, I stopped listening to gaming journalists, bro.
So,
I mean,
let's actually get back. Sorry, you guys are getting carried away over here. Let's actually get back in the difficulty topic. So if you remember, back then we did have other similar type of games like Jedi Fallen Order and Kina Bridge of Spirits. Now these games did have difficulty options in those games. And so what's your stance on like let's say you are playing these games and they do have a difficulty option, and let's say you do come across a boss that is super challenging, you're getting clapped every time you try and face this boss. Do you try and lower the difficulty, or do you have the mentality of like, oh, just the get good mentality? So what's your guys' thoughts on that?
I'm get good, but I also play games on easy mode because I don't really like to, because I don't find most games actually build the game from the ground up to be hard. So to me, I'm like, yeah, easy mode all the way until, unless I'm rewarded for actually playing on a hard mode, which again, very few games.
Kind of like a journalist, Deli.
Unlike a journalist, yeah.
No, but I agree with Deli. I mean, I mainly play games on typically the hard difficulty. Usually I usually don't go. Look at this guy. I usually don't go above that, but like I agree with Deli. A lot of the games, at least modern games, they don't design around that, right? Where it's like usually when you go into a boss encounter, like especially on a hard difficulty, it'll just be like, yeah, we'll just increase the attack power that the boss has.
Yeah, that stuff's artificial.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas, like, that you'll see a lot more of that from like Souls games and stuff like that, where the whole purpose of those games is that they design it from the ground up. But as far as like the difficulty discourse again, which happens like every couple of months at this point when a new game comes out, I think what I always stand by is whatever the devs choose to do, whether that be including different difficulty options like they did with Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order actually had a really good difficulty options where it was like it showed you like how balanced it was. They gave you like a little radio wheel. If Psychonauts 2 wants to include a invincible mode, sure, why not? The same applies to the Dark Souls game, where it's like if they don't want to apply difficulty options and they want you to play the game this way because that's how they designed it and that's how they want players to interact with the world, that's what it is. That's fine, and that's how I'm going to play those games. I think a lot of people, nowadays it kind of goes into like, I'm going to sound like an old man, but it goes into like, give me everything that I want on a silver platter, and I don't think the world works like that in general. And if you want to get into the accessibility conversation, that's a completely different conversation that I'm not smart enough to really have because I don't necessarily understand all of the facets when it comes to that. But like I said, I'll go with whatever the devs choose to do.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go off of what Connor said. I definitely agree with Connor. I feel like a lot of these people they complain and they hop on Twitter and they cry gatekeep and they scream gatekeep. You're gatekeeping me if you don't give me an easy mode. Right?
Bam. Let me ask you a question. If you went to college and you had an economics professor, would you want the economics professor to have an economics degree? Would you want him to know what he's talking about?
Oh yeah, yep.
So why all of a sudden, when it comes to game, no one's gatekeeping people coming into video games and buying a console and playing games.
But that's the thing, though. But that's the thing, though. As gaming continues to grow, continues to get bigger and larger, and continues to get more popular, we're gonna keep getting more and more of these people who haven't really gamed before, and their newest console is just the buzzword. They were like, oh, I heard Xbox Series X or PS5 was, was the thing that was in. And just what I'm saying, I always play all my games. I play them at normal. And if I want a hard challenge, I go out and then I buy like Soulsborne types of games. Like I understand what I'm getting into. I'm not going to the fucking Pizza Hut down the street and expecting to get a fucking McDouble.
Yeah,
I understand what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I play these games, but that's just what I'm saying. Like,
and I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with having genre games. If there are certain genres that are harder than other genres, I think that's fine. I don't know. This conversation always gets me like a bit, up in the air, a little bit.
Are you gatekeeping, Connor?
I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that because like. it doesn't
Connor
it doesn't
is
make
the troll under the bridge. Confirmed.
it doesn't make sense to me, some of the shit that I see on Twitter. It really doesn't.
Yeah, yo,
Like, how are you going to tell me that you played a game or you know what the game is like if you never picked up the controller and actually played it, and all you did was watch clips on YouTube? That's not playing a game.
Facts.
it's like watching somebody play a game or watching somebody play a fucking game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can say I've watched all these matches of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I know how Call of Duty plays. It doesn't mean that I know the pace of the game.
And it doesn't mean that you're literally better at it than anyone else just by watching that fucking thing.
It's this, especially like on Twitter, when it comes to like whatever fanboy zealots there are, PlayStation, Sony, Nintendo, whatever it is, it always boils down to that. And I really fucking hate that argument because it makes no sense to me at all. Like,
But it's entertainment, bro.
Do you guys think that we'll see more games like the latest Forza Horizon had this mode to where you could play the game? Well, the game will play itself for you and win races for you. So you could put this on this mode and not do a damn thing. You could walk away and leave it on, and it would play throughout all these races for you.
There's already a game. There's already a game in the market for that shit, and it's called Asphalt 9.
With the Asphalt 9. Anyways, I just wanted to say, because I said something that was apparently a hot take, right? A little while back.
I remember this.
Months ago, I had said that Forza Horizon 5 doesn't deserve Game of the Year.
I remember this.
And everybody was like, what are you talking about? And I had said, look, any self-respecting video game would not dumb itself down to cater to the bottom dollar, right? Or the bottom line. Because any game that it's serious in its genre, any game that is serious in, its own depiction, it's serious in its own design, will not come in here and create easy modes or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because it's designed that way. Games are, multifaceted. They're amazing. They're unlike movies in the idea that there's a player. There's no urgency to get through the game, right? You introduce a player, and I could design something that makes you walk down this hallway, and then, Connor can spend 10 minutes staring at, I don't know, what's written on the boxes.
Yeah.
Like, I can't control that. So when you create a game, accessibility is virtue of the devs. And that's not, I saw a hot take was like, well, platforms should, what's it called? Make it rules so that devs have to, why? When I submit my game to Sony, when we submitted our game to Sony and Xbox and we had dev kits, not one time did Sony say, hey, is there an easy mode in this game? Because Sony doesn't care. Because they don't care. Because games are, again, multifaceted. They're layered. There's nobody in this world that's going to make a game for everybody. Just like movies and art. Because they are, marring both mediums together. And it's interactive. So you're not going to please everybody. So just make the game that you want to make. So this whole accessibility thing, to me, accessibility means that a lot of people are going to play it. So games are already accessible in the event that if they're multi-platform, if they're on Game Pass, if they're cheap, if they, released in the right window. Like right now, the game is super accessible because it's February. Yeah. What's coming out in February other than, the next, a couple movies and a couple games, right? If this game, that's accessible to me. Anybody can play the game, whether or not it's hard or easy. That's irrelevant. You played the game, but you can't cry accessible just because you're bad at a video game, or you can't cry, oh, this game is non-accessible because you didn't make it past the first boss. It's accessible because you bought it and you played it.
Yeah, I think it also speaks to the bigger shifting tides that's happening with the industry. Like, I don't want to get too deep into that, but like, it speaks to like what's going on and how video games is really, especially after this gen, is going to see, it's going to look much different given how young the art form still is and everything that's happening within, from acquisitions to consolidation. Like, we're headed to like an interesting spot, and we're really going to see like what's about to happen within the next few years, because accessibility and all of that really does play a part.
Yeah.
Yeah, so back to the whole difficulty topic. I'm not gonna lie, I am trying to get back into Kena. I am revisiting Kena. I did take a long hiatus from it because, man, the later bosses in that game is absolutely no joke. It's
Yeah.
pretty
Kicks
challenging
clap.
in normal difficulty. And I do stand by the fact of the get good mentality. Like I think on one boss I did end up switching it to story mode, and I honestly felt it wasn't like the same, like the whole tension feeling that you get when you play on like the normal difficulty, right?
Right.
Like each time a boss attacks, like your health is basically like 70% gone, and that feeling just went away when I switched it to like the lower difficulty, the lowest one. And yeah, that felt like kind of like cheating in a way to me. So
Hey man,
yeah.
if it's in the game, it's not cheesing. You know, like that's how I always view it. If you can do it in the game, consider it a win. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. I mean,
I
no,
don't
I
look
mean,
cheese.
I feel like easy mode in
whatever.
Kena is like super. It's like too easy, to be honest. Like
Which is fine.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Because you're used to games and you play them a lot, right?
Crow's a hardcore gamer.
But like I've had one of my friends, I was the best man at his wedding. He plays Super Smash Brothers, he plays games, he has consoles, he plays a lot of games. First time he ever played Last of Us, the original Last of Us, he couldn't get past a certain section, and it just because he wasn't used to how a 3D game plays, right? He mostly played like 3D platforms and stuff, but now he's playing an over the shoulder third person game that's very intense, action adventure driven. Same thing with Uncharted. He can't get into the gunfights. He doesn't play COD. He doesn't do that. So, the easy mode is designed for things like that, where it's like, artificial difficulty. Okay, let's crank it down, right? But there's not going to be an easy mode in like Soulsborne, right?
No,
Because,
Miyazaki has talked about that many a times.
Yeah, because it's designed from the ground up to be the way it is, right? So to me, like if there's an easy mode, it means the game is designed to, lessen the stress or crank up the stress. But if there's an easy mode, use it, play it. I do it. I want, video games are supposed to be fun. They're not meant to be stressful or lame. Like same thing with these journalists. They're not supposed to be like headache inducing. Like, come on, man, you're supposed to have some fun and enjoy yourself, right? So if a game has an easy mode, play it.
Have fun with video games, Deli, as if.
Really?
God, that's such a hot take, bro.
As if. I play games to be fucking miserable. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Look, man, we design games so that y'all have fun.
Yeah.
Like I know popular contrary belief, contrary to popular belief, like we don't design games to infuriate people.
You sure?
Crazy, bro. Crazy concept.
Sifu was kicking my ass, Deli.
Yeah, but you keep playing it.
Yeah, bro, you're in the 4th level in 2 hours.
Keep playing it,
so,
though.
Yep.
That's because it hurts so goddamn
You
good.
love it. You love it because you're enjoying yourself.
Yep.
Because the game does a good job at rewarding you.
Yeah.
And let's shout out to A Stone and Sumo for just chatting in the chat on YouTube,
facts.
by the way.
Shout out to the homies for coming through, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
It's Sumo and Stone creeping in the chat. What is going on?
Yeah, they're just
Two
like
creepers.
the pow.
I just want people from Twitter to design games because
Share game design.
Bro, sometimes I'm like, yo, that's not how this works.
Bro, you're gonna get Flappy Bird 23.
Oh yeah,
Deli, don't you know I have a
degree.
degree in Twitter game design.
Bro, you know what? Let me go to
an economics professor. I don't know.
Let me go to Twitter University.
Okay, so for this topic, do you guys have any closing statements on it?
No,
just don't handicap the devs. Let the devs create. And if they want to create multi-tier difficulty options that, personally, I would always want them to design specifically for each difficulty. That'd be great. It takes a lot of time, but, let them do what they want. I don't see what's wrong in that statement.
See, like, our take on that is Look, bruh, the game devs gave you an option. You decided to choose which fucking difficult mode that you wanted to play in. So
Yeah.
stop bitching about it. Stop moaning about it. Just have fun with whichever difficulty you have chosen, right?
And it's crazy too because like when Elden Ring comes out on the 25th, I guarantee you there's not going to be any reviews saying it's too hard.
Mhm.
It'll all be,
It's
what
already
magnificent,
established.
yeah, what
It has a hardcore
magnificent
fan base.
design. Oh, but Sifu's tough, even though it's really not as tough as that guy made it out to be. And all of a sudden, the world's breaking and everything needs to have difficulty modes. Like I don't know, man.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
Match
like,
3. Hard.
I mean, if the game was really tough, then they would give each boss a different move set.
Yeah.
For stages, they would, give it something more drastic, right? They wouldn't they wouldn't re-up your health bar for stage 2. Like, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's lucky that we don't have this shit happening on Twitter Spaces anymore because
Yo,
like,
I had to stop listening to Twitter Spaces, man.
they're pretty good though, right, Deli? They're like pretty interesting to listen to because you're like, wow.
Bro, some of the stuff that you listen on Twitter Spaces is funny as shit. Like, I was coming from work today and I was just like on my Twitter, just scrolling through after. All of a sudden I see like, there's about 3 Twitter Spaces hopped into one. Bruh.
There was one today.
There was an argument like that led to calling each other's moms and pops out. Like, there was.
I love when they argue in Twitter Spaces. I love it. I love
Me
it.
and Bam love it.
But I can't stand it when it's like console war stuff because it's just so ignorant, man.
I just show up for the drama, man.
So
yeah,
here's the thing with the console war stuff. Like, you would think after
look. All right, sorry, we're getting killed.
We're gonna cut off. Eat her.
Man, you guys are so high right now. Okay. So
and you're not?
No, I'm not.
Kind of pod, boys.
Sorry, bro.
So yeah, with the difficulty in video games, like there is a reason why, Dark Souls, they do have a, very dedicated fan base for that, and there's a reason why the developer intended to have just a base difficulty, no easy mode or no super hard mode. So there's a reason for these creative visions, and we should definitely honor their vision. And also, if Sifu wants to have no difficulty option, like we should appreciate that also.
Yeah, agreed.
And
agreed.
So let's actually move on to the next topic, which is Dying Light 2 impressions. And so Techland actually went in development hell when they were developing the second game. The original game launched in 2015. And honestly, what made matters worse was that COVID-19 suddenly happened in early 2020, which made them relocate, and it made the development much more challenging for them. And the fact that they were able to pull this off is definitely an accomplishment. And there was also an article that CD Projekt Red on Twitter actually congratulated them for finishing the game. So it's definitely a good accomplishment for Techland. And these Metacritic reviews don't do the game justice. Like, if you look at the Xbox Series X reviews and PS5 reviews, they're sitting at a 77, 78. They definitely don't do the game justice. Like, I personally think the story is really well done. The world is absolutely fantastic. It has a really good art direction, and each part of the world, it feels like authentic. It feels unique. So I really do credit the level designers of crafting such a beautiful open world game. And the engine that they're using is actually pretty advanced. Like, this is why you're seeing the PS5 and the Xbox Series X struggling with this game. But there is going to be a patch later on. I think they are going to try to push variable rate VRR support on consoles. So you guys are going to get 60 FPS on the higher resolution as well. So
let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really do like the parkour in this, and but the one downside I will say, the one downside of it is the combat. I feel like the combat is much better in the first game. This one is a little bit more streamlined.
I was gonna say, like, it does feel pretty different, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't
yeah.
feel
Yeah,
as
yeah.
weighty. It
Do
feels
you think
like
it's
I like
because of
it.
the health bar, Connor? Because I think they implemented that little health bar, right? They didn't they
Well,
give it a health bar now? I don't know if they had a health bar in the first game.
they went full RPG with this game.
Yeah.
Or
And
you know,
then
as much as they could.
and
Because
then
I have
also
issues with
Crow.
that, but
Yeah, and then also Crow, you keep saying that the story is great. I don't know. I don't think I agree with you that the story is that good. It's just like the first game, in my opinion. I feel like the story takes a back seat to the gameplay. The gameplay is where I fall in love with this game. The story, I don't know. I can't even tell you what's really going on right now. And I've been playing for like 5 or 6 hours just because that's how forgetful the story is, in my opinion.
Well, I mean,
What
I
you think
think
about?
I think the side missions are good. Like the overall story, I do like the characters. I think they are pretty well done. And so yeah, I do like the story. And the side missions, they actually do have they do have like a cutscene to them as well, like, and have a. It looks like they did put a lot of emphasis on side missions and things like that.
yeah,
Did
the
you play the
side
first
missions are
game?
pretty fun.
Did you play the
Yeah.
first game, Crow?
Yes, I did. Yeah, the side missions in the first game was also pretty decent.
What was
Yeah.
what was that main story about in the first game? Let's see if it's as forgetful as what I think it is. Because I think I ain't gonna lie, I think you might be capping just a little bit.
I remember the story. I remember it.
No, I ain't asking you. You ain't the
No,
one
no,
capping.
Uh-oh.
Crow, what's up with this story, man? I want you over there googling because
Okay.
you taking a little bit.
Okay, look, it's been a long time, bro. Like I
Oh,
haven't.
God. So what had happened was-
I was
So what
gonna,
had
you know
happened
what?
was-
If Bam didn't ask him that, I was gonna say, so what is it about the story that's captivating you, Krow?
So all I'm saying is that like this time around, it does feel like a fleshed out RPG with the,
Hey,
with
man, we're
all
still
the
talking about the
missions.
story. What is it about the story, bro?
What do you mean?
What is, like you said that you like the story, right? What's the thing in that story mode that's like actually captivating you? Like so far, what is it that's got you hooked on it?
So like the objectives are, it's pretty cool. Like it's the I'm like 10 hours in. I do think the story structure is really great, and it does it does have some flashbacks of the GRE testing and
Yeah.
him finding Mia. So I do like that aspect, and the different characters to meet is they're honestly pretty well. They do have pretty good characteristics. But I will say that the black dudes in this game, like they are whitewashed. Like
You heard the accent?
what's up with all these black guys in this game being whitewashed, man? It's,
as soon as you run up
it's kinda
on them, it'd
sus.
be, "Hey man, what do you think you're doing over here, buddy?" Like, hey yo, I thought I ran up on a brother, bro. Yeah, brother. What you doing?
Hey,
But,
yo, did anyone do the one side mission where it's because this takes place like 15 or 20 years after the fall of the first game, and there's one side mission where it's a kid and he wants to be a rapper. He's like, I listened to all of the old world music, and now I want to bring it back to this ruined apocalyptic world.
That's a mission.
Yeah, it's a side mission.
Oh shit, I got it. I haven't
But
seen that one yet.
I think to answer a little bit of your question of what Krow was trying to say, Joker, is I think this time around, they have a fully fleshed out world with their world building and lore, where it feels a lot more interesting than the first game, where it's like, yeah, you have all of these different factions, you have all of these different, competing characters trying to vie for Aiden, who's the main
Right.
character's help.
Right.
I think overall, if I had to give this game a score, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. To answer what Deli asked earlier, I do think it was worth the wait. I definitely have problems with it, but I have problems with like most modern RPGs in general, because I am on the second map. I'm probably about 20 hours in now. And my biggest critique of the game, which does sort of come into the story, is that I do not feel like the decision making in this game really matters. And I think what's going to happen is what always happens with a lot of modern RPGs. and it's only going to matter at the end of the game. And they're going to give you like, 3 choices. You can either pick this faction, or this other one. And a lot of the choices are like supplemental, right? Because there's this district mechanic where, hey, you can give this district to the peacemakers, or you can give this district to the survivors. And they each have their own perks. Like if you give it to the survivors, you get trampolines all over in the world. If you give it to the peacemakers, you get car traps or something like that, right? And so on and so forth. But as far as no, it goes. There's a bunch more. Like if you keep leveling up and giving districts to the peacemaker, you get a bunch of different ones. The same with the survivors. But as far as like your decisions mattering and like relationships mattering in the game, it's almost non-existent in a lot of ways. And I think a lot of that has to do with them losing their lead writer Chris Avallone, kind of midway through production, because he had a scandal about some sexual harassment scandals. So he kind of had to lead the game. And if you're familiar with Chris Avallone, he's a long historic RPG writer who worked mainly with Obsidian. I think he did a lot of KOTOR 2 and Fallout New Vegas. So he's a pretty decent writer, but like I will say, Bam, the story gets better in the second half of the game. Okay. It becomes a lot more interesting. Once you meet spoilers, Rosario Dawson's character, it really starts picking up. Along with like the second map is completely like skyscrapers and huge tall buildings, and the verticality of the game really starts showcasing itself, and you really start adding to your moveset in a way that the first area of the map, which for the most part to me feels like a tutorial area, even though there is a tutorial area in the game. The second map feels like the one that they were really designing for, and I think it really showcases itself. Like because they give you a glider, as you see in the trailer on the channel right now. You get a grappling hook as well. So there's a ton of different options for you to move around in this game, and I do think the parkour is the best it's ever been. Krow, I do think that the combat is not as good as the first game. It doesn't have the same impact or weight. Right. And like the crafting's fine. A lot of this is fine. The performance of the game has been good on PS5 so far. I do think the 1080p is fine. It's definitely noticeable when you're looking at draw distances. And aside from like some pop-in here and there, I haven't had any issues. But overall, it's a good game. And especially like it's funny because Krow said like, oh, the Metacritic score was like 78 and 79. That's still higher than the first game.
And the first game was fucking fire, bro.
Yeah. And once again, it becomes down to the stupid Twitter fucking logic where it's like, this is a 70? I don't want to waste my fucking time. It's like, all right, guys, like
trash.
Oh, it's not an 80, it's not a 90. Fuck out of here. It's like, all right.
All right, Krow. I guess I recant my statement, bro. I'm gonna remove the cap from your name, bro. I guess I recant my statement, man.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of forgot about the story 10 hours in, but
That's capping.
But yeah, I do
like. He has a point to that. Like, this world is not necessarily made for the story. It's made for like the cool scenery, the cool world building, like this apocalyptic world, and then you going around doing all this fucking parkour shit. All
but that's my point,
buildings.
though. So like, that's what I'm saying when I say for me, just for me. I'm not saying what I'm saying. Krow could be 100% valid in his reasoning, but for me, the gameplay is what takes a front seat, and this shit is amazing, bro. I'm having a blast.
Right. Yeah, it's a blast. Look at Sumo in the chat. Y'all kill me with these 1080p excuses. You know what, Sumo? I can't have it all, man.
Guardians of the Galaxy was 1080p, and I know for a fact I saw Sumo ass on Twitter, goddamn it, celebrating. This game is absolutely amazing.
Does Sumo have a 4K monitor?
I don't know.
Sumo, you got a 4K. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to pull the receipts. Sumo, you got a 4K monitor, man?
Sumo rich, so he got something.
Oh yeah, facts.
You got some. But yeah, overall, I think just to close it out, I think Dying Light was definitely worth the wait. It's a really good RPG, and it, in terms of like Polish developers, it kind of makes CD Projekt Red after Cyberpunk look like a second-rate developer at this point.
Yeah, the detail in this world is incredible, man. Like when you parkour up in a building and view the horizon. Like looking into the detail, if you're playing on higher resolutions, you will see like just how detailed it is. Like it's just absolutely breathtaking, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, I will say that the first city, it does remind me of the classic like Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
Like how they have the building set up it for easy parkour. Like I find that pretty fun with the whole parkour.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty fun. Yeah. Definitely worth your time if you were interested in it, I think.
Definitely worth the money. Go buy that game, support that game, and form an opinion up for yourself. Stop listening to fucking Metacritic and these journalists who probably didn't even beat the game.
See, I understand why people like if you're a casual person and why you go to Metacritic. I get it. But if you're like hardcore within the community and you're willing to play anything, just formulate your own fucking opinion.
Facts.
I don't know. It's fucking people.
Forming my own.
I could be a lot meaner. I could be a lot meaner on Twitter, Bam. I really could. I could be a fucking troll if I wanted to. But,
imagine forming your own opinion, Deli.
I know,
bro.
Who
I
does
just
that?
can't, bro.
Who
I'm
does
sorry.
that?
Look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't even own a PlayStation. When I stream this game, I just be streaming somebody else's YouTube video, and I just be sitting in my chair reacting.
That's your friend's PS5?
No, it's not even my
the
friends.
go-to.
It's some dude with like 10 subscribers on YouTube.
he's just watching the YouTube stream. He plays the
man,
game.
I just have to watch Bam Bam video, and I'm already a master at it, bro.
Oh shit. Not like this. Not like this. All right, Krow.
So yeah, so just to close it off here, actually back in the day, I was into The Walking Dead, and I actually was into the comics as well by Robert Kirkman. Like I think the Walking Dead, the comics especially was really well written. And with this coming out, like I feel like this is my dream RPG right now. Like it is super addicting, and the co-op as well on PC. Like I don't know about console. I think I heard like console was a bit buggy with the co-op, but on PC like the co-op is like flawless. Like it's pretty dope. Doing missions with friends, and having to do main missions with friends is pretty fun, and doing the night raids with friends also, and it's a pretty cool experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so let's actually move to our next topic, which is the Nintendo Switch selling 100 million units worldwide sales, and this is definitely a big accomplishment for Nintendo.
Yeah, huge.
And the common stigma amongst the gaming community, or amongst Twitter or amongst Twitter, is that, oh yeah, the Switch is the side piece console. I'm not with this hardware being so trash. I ain't with this blurry resolution, these low frames, or it's the console that collects dust.
Let's be honest, Krow.
But
This shit is
listen,
definitely the side piece.
but listen,
I'm
like
not gonna lie. My Switch is my side piece right now. Like it's literally on the side of my TV, and I haven't touched it in months.
My Switch
lie.
collected dust, so I actually traded it.
It's definitely the side piece, but that's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the side piece come through when you need it the most.
But hey, we still talk about a Switch, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You know what we talking about.
I gave away my
Is this
Switch
after
for free.
dark?
Hold up.
I gave away my Switch for free because this kid in the store was crying his eyes out. And then his mom was like, I don't have money. Bro, I felt guilty as shit. And I was like, here you go. Just
my bad.
But I mean, yeah, this is a very impressive number.
So listen, there's a reason why Nintendo can get away with selling you 6 to 7 year old dated hardware. Yes. And it comes with the first party. Like the first party is definitely, up there. When you take in, like the launch title was Breath of the Wild. 2019 was a big year for them, I think, with so many huge games coming out with Fire Emblem Three Houses, also Astral Chain by Platinum Games.
Yeah.
So those are two big sellers as well, and I'm surprised that if you look at the top 10 grossing video game sales for Nintendo, there's a lot of Pokemon on this list. Like you can't downplay the Pokemon fans. Like these guys come out of the woodwork and buy their games like each and every time.
I got a question for you, Krow. And if you don't got the answer, that's cool because I got the answer. Do you know what's the most highest selling game on the Switch?
Yeah, so right now it's actually Mario Kart 8.
Now tell me this, right? This is my biggest issue with Nintendo.
Fucking
How
Mario.
in the hell are they getting away with selling this 7, 8, or 8-year-old game that came out on the Wii U? How are they getting away with selling this game full price 8 years fucking
Hey,
later?
okay, I got you guys. It's
Yeah.
because it's fun. It's really that simple. The reason why Nintendo does well is because their games are fun.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be exciting. It doesn't have to be new. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It doesn't have to be industry defining. It doesn't have to be, the hardware doesn't have to be great, right? The Switch is as powerful as my cell phone on some games, right?
Yeah.
But their games are fun, so that's why people will pay for it. It's really that simple. I refuse to use my Switch docked, so I always kept it in handheld mode. Actually, the dock is still sitting in the box.
And with that being said, Deli, Krow, this would be the perfect time. But I'm not gonna tell you how to. I'm not gonna tell you and Deli how to run y'all's podcast. But this would be the perfect segue
Do it, bro.
into this trash ass Steam Deck. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, I ain't gonna tell you how to run your podcast, bro. But I was about to drop some bars.
So you gonna tell him you don't know how to run the podcast while telling him I don't know.
I was about to shit on the Steam Deck. That's the only reason why.
Okay, bro, do it. You know what?
I was honestly gonna do that as well.
Same thing with the Switch.
When we get to that later.
The Steam Deck is not. It's not my market, but I understand why it's made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Deli basically hit it on the nail of the head. I mean, that and Nintendo's hardcore fan base is, I would argue, more hardcore than any other console.
Oh yeah.
They will buy anything that they shovel out. It doesn't matter if it's a remaster of Skyward Sword, the worst fucking Zelda game. It doesn't matter. They will buy it. They will.
Hey, Wind Waker would like to know your location. I'm kidding.
Wind Waker. Hey, yo, I'm about to come find you, bro.
He said Wind Waker.
I'm kidding. I actually liked Wind Waker.
But they'll buy anything. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying they don't have any standards, but they're just so loyal to this
They'll
brand.
even buy cardboard, Connor.
Yeah.
Cardboard.
To be
bro.
fair, that stuff was kind of cool, but like a day, it was cool.
Oh my god, I forgot they sold cardboard.
Yeah, the cardboard. People bought fucking
Connor
cardboard.
bought that shit. Do you hear the
Nintendo, you know what Nintendo is? Nintendo is an Apple of the gaming industry.
Exactly.
Where it's actually a novelty item. It's not even about the games anymore.
Yeah. That and some of their main line titles like Zelda and the mainline Mario games, I will admit, like Deli said, they're super fun, but also super polished. I mean, when you talk about Nintendo, you always talk about that Nintendo polish. And, they always make sure that those games aren't broken. They always make sure there's no glitches. Well, Breath of the Wild had some issues, but overall, they can get their fan base to literally buy anything. It doesn't matter what it is. They literally sold them another Switch with an an OLED screen, and everyone fucking bought that bullshit.
Hey Connor.
Well, to be fair, like the OLED does have some good improvements.
To be fair, the OLED actually is nice because they sold it at
but it's just an OLED screen. Like, why wouldn't you just wait for eventually when they do the next version?
Maybe they won't.
They totally are. They totally
maybe
are.
No, I'm saying maybe they won't. Maybe they won't. Who knows?
Yeah. This is Nintendo. If they could if they're going to sell you cardboard, they're going to sell you another they're going to sell you another version, a more amped up version.
Yeah. I mean, I think stop with the OLED slander though, bro, cuz I bought that, man.
No. Yeah. Hey, you capping online, bro.
Fuck that OLED.
Nah, the OLED bangs. First off, why not release a newer updated model? It's like essentially buying the PlayStation 5 Slim, right? I mean, it's the same stuff. It's again more novelty stuff. It's a quality of life update, and a lot of people buy quality of life things, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So here's the thing, right? Like I feel like this is akin to the DS Lite, where like Nintendo does make really good quality hardware. Like you can't deny that fact. And when you hold the OLED model in your hands, like you can tell it's like really well constructed. Like it's not a cheap ass tablet like the first one. Like once you hold this, like you realize that the first one is a really cheaply, it's kind of like a Chinese made tablet.
Oh shit!
I mean, he's not lying. He's not
Are
lying.
you saying the first one feels like Tencent gave it to you? Is that what you're
yeah.
saying?
Oh shit!
Yeah. After
Oh my
holding the
God.
OLED, I feel like the first one is definitely a joke. Like it's like a Chinese brand tablet. You know, like
I mean,
Yeah.
those Joy-Cons still aren't shit. I fucking hate those things, but yeah,
That's facts.
the worst. And
Yeah, so-
don't they still sell them for like $80 still or
We ain't gonna talk about
$70?
it. We ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk
Oh
about
my
it.
god, they're
No
they're
Nintendo slander.
look, they're gouging you for all you fucking got. Isn't Breath of the Wild still full price?
Stop telling me the truth about my husband that beats on me, Connor. Stop.
Oh my
it.
god.
Stop it.
No, but they also have that Disney effect where like people just love these characters so much, Mario and Zelda, that they'll buy any and all.
I mean, they literally grown up with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's one hell of a drug.
I will admit I want to go to Nintendo Land in Japan. That looks pretty cool, but
It does.
oh, that's fire! I just saw that video by a vlogger. He posted a tour guide on YouTube. That was pretty fire, man. The whole Nintendo world. But yeah, on this topic here, there's a reason why Nintendo is still relevant in the if you look at the top 3 consoles. And I do like the fact that they are still getting partnership deals with Capcom. They are still getting some games from Platinum and recently Atlas as well. I think they do have some plans of releasing older Atlas games as well on the Switch. Hopefully Persona 4 Golden does make its way to Switch. But I am really liking, Shin Megami Tensei. This is a pretty excellent. It's an incredible game by Atlas, and I do like the JRPG and the RPG mechanics in it. It's really dope. And the fact that they were able to bring out an Unreal Engine 4 game on the Switch and deliver on the visuals of that game, it is pretty impressive. What they were able to accomplish with the whole open world and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Have they improved their online infrastructure at all?
No.
You already know the
okay, there
answer.
you go. Fuck Nintendo.
You already know the answer, dude.
Yeah. No, not fuck Nintendo. I like Nintendo. I can't lie. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's been collecting dust. I haven't picked up that Switch in a long time. And I think that's frankly because none of the games that I want to play, like Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever, Mario Odyssey 2, hasn't been announced or come out yet. So
I literally got a Switch for Breath of the Wild, and then I beat the Breath of the Wild, and then I traded my Switch.
look at you, hardcore gamer.
It will be my Switch.
It's all about exclusives, baby.
Yeah, it's all about them bangers.
Oh, shit. Not like this.
Yeah. I would definitely recommend Shin Megami Tensei. It is a bit hardcore. Like the bosses are like absolutely ridiculous. Like you get like one shot sometimes. You gotta be careful with your items. There's like items that protect you against certain elements.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful with some of their boss patterns. And it's there are some mini bosses there as well, and there's collectibles in the world. Like Atlas has done such a good job with this iteration of Shin Megami Tensei, and I do recommend that for people who are into JRPG games.
Yeah, I hope they bring Persona 4, like you said.
Basically,
over.
all you got from this is stop playing any other games apart from JRPGs, bruh.
That's
Done.
true. True, I'm a weeb, so
Bro, I'm a big weeb too, so not either.
Listen, playing Tales of Arise, I just realized how big of a weeb I was and how much of a simp I was for Shion. I was like, oh my god, spit on
That's
me.
the chick with is that the chick with the pink hair?
She's the one with that you rescue in the very beginning of the game.
Oh yeah.
With the gun.
You know the vibes with her.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna get too carried away.
She could run me over with a truck.
Hold
Oh,
up.
shit.
Are we still talking about Shin Megami Hentai 5?
We're talking whatever you want to talk about, Deli.
Wow.
Huh?
Oh man.
Okay.
Okay. So let's actually move on to the next topic, which is the Steam Deck. So if you do look on YouTube right now, there are a few YouTubers who did have their early review copies, and they've been had the review copies for a while, and now they just dropped the reviews, and it is looking pretty good. But if you look at when they hold the device in their hands, like there's no doubt, like this joint is looking hella big, bro. Like it's definitely wide as hell. Like I don't think this is the Switch killer as people are claiming. Like I do think this needs to have another reiteration, make a smaller, more ergonomical device. So what are you guys' thoughts on the Steam Deck?
I think this thing is gonna be DOA, bro, because it's like the whole portable argument. That shit is out the window after you see how big this thing is. Because it's like, if you want it portable, I feel like it just doesn't hit the checkbox. It's like it's not. It doesn't look comfortable. It doesn't look compact. And at the point of how big it is, I feel like why would you even dock it if you have a gaming PC? I don't know who the audience for this is. I don't think.
I mean, maybe people who don't have a PC. How much is a Steam Deck?
But them shits, I think the cheapest model was $500. So it's like, why would I go out and buy a Steam Deck?
That is odd.
It's 400.
That is odd to have it.
Okay, so the cheapest model is $400. So why would I go out and waste money on that when I can just get an Xbox Series S and play that inside my house?
And save $100 and save $100
and save money, bro. Versus buying this big, huge, goddamn hoary children's pad for $400, bro. Like, what are we doing with this thing, bro?
You going in on
this shit, bro. Like, I'm tired of hearing people on Twitter cap for this, talking about this thing is gonna be the Switch killer, bro. What am I gonna do with this big, huge black hoary pad? Like,
hoary.
Niggas out here hyped to play League of Legends. League of Legends, a fucking 20-year-old game. CS:GO, a 20-year-old game.
Hey, whoa.
So you're gonna get the CS:GO people coming after us.
You gotta start with the CS slander. You gotta start with the CS slander.
I ain't done, bro.
Cut it back. Hey, retract that statement. I'm gonna need you to rephrase that statement.
Okay, all right.
Somehow they're gonna find this video.
I got you. I'm gonna clean it up a bit.
Okay, so the Steam Deck is $399, $529, and $649.
Yeah, the different tiers. Yeah.
If you were able to come in and try to appeal to people who don't have a gaming PC, these prices are astronomical, especially for the what's it called, for the platform, like the shape, I guess.
Yeah.
That you have this at, because you could buy a compact PC for about $600 that plays, I mean, essentially half the games that you named, CS, League, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm honestly not entirely sure what audience this Steam Deck is for. I know a couple of people at my workplace had asked, like, "Oh, you think I should get the Steam Deck?" And I was like, "Well, if you don't have a PC, maybe." But like, honestly, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Yeah, and like for the audience too, right? Like, imagine if I got 2 kids. If I bought my son this shit and this man takes it out and about, I would be afraid that he would pick his thing up and just drop it, because it looks so awkward to hold, bro. Like, who's holding this thing? Who's holding this?
Yeah, it is twice the weight of the
fucking claw hands.
It's twice the weight of the Switch.
Yeah,
at 1.5 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, as soon as this trash talk started, all I could do is look at the fucking chat, and I'm just sitting there laughing, bro.
Oh no, this.
Someone said it looks like a Megazord control panel.
It's bigger than a Peloton.
The Steam Deck is the motherboard for Optimus.
What were you gonna say, Connor? Because I know I cut you
I
off,
mean, this
bro.
just feels like one of those like situations where it's like, man, wouldn't it be great? And then when it actually is made, you realize, oh, like this really doesn't have any like practical purpose for me to really use it. Besides just be like, yeah, I guess if I wanted to play League of Legends or Dota 2 on the go, sure, I could if I wanted to, but from a hardware perspective, everyone seems to be raving about it, which, you know, I think in comparison to the Switch, you know, obviously it blows it out of the water. It takes a shotgun to the Switch, basically. But it's funny because I was watching back when this was announced, if you guys know who, oh no, it's Alex, and he basically said like this was going to be a Switch competitor. And he basically like made a bet on one of his live streams. He's like, no, I bet it's going to be. And I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't really see I don't know who the audience this is for, besides like, hardcore staunch PC people.
He's losing that bet because, like, just looking at what we got now, right? The Nintendo Switch legit has been winning every NPD almost.
Right. And I mean, Nintendo Switch is like, it's for the casuals. Like, if people think that the Steam Deck is going to compete on that level, I think they have another thing coming. Because this is like, aside from like hardcore people, who really knows about this fucking thing?
Nobody. And that's something else too, Connor. Like, this shit isn't in stores. You have to buy it online.
Yeah, you have to buy it online from Steam. And like, it's just weird that Steam put this out. I mean, I didn't think Steam was going to put out any more hardware after the controller miserably failed.
Wow.
Yep. Even though like the controller's like cool as like a history piece. But like them now putting this out, unless they're going to do another iteration where, like you guys said, they make it smaller, more compact, I don't see what this first version is really going to do. And I don't see how necessarily it's going to, like, they sold out all of the ones. Like, I get it. Like, a ton of people bought it. But like, I don't see like how they're going to sell out anymore. Because
I was looking at it right on the Steam page, and literally the bare minimum is about £290, which roughly adds up about $350, right? Which is like the lower end spec of the Steam Deck. And then I just went through all the options, and I was like, it comes up to £750, which comes up to almost $800 for you guys. I'm like, that's for the high-end model, and you're telling me I'm only getting this for this deal? Get the fuck out of here. I'm not spending no shit. And then that too, what? They, like, not only did they fail in the hardware aspect of things, right, but the software aspect as well. I don't know if you all remember Steam OS.
Yes.
Right? Oh my god, that shit was booty. Right? That shit was trash. And they literally added that onto the Steam Deck, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just like, it's one of those situations where it's like, this really seemed like a pointless thing when you guys could have been making Half-Life 3. All right? Like, what are we really doing here?
Waiting for that game for time.
Go make, well, even though like Half-Life Alyx, but you know, go make something else. Go make some video games, Valve.
Right.
Yeah. Also, if you look at the Valve Index, like, I'm surprised they're not making that much support over the last hardware. So it seems like, they are taking a gamble here with the Steam Deck. Like, I don't think they don't do that much support with their with their hardware.
I just feel like they're just bored and they needed something to do, so they just created this shit.
Yeah, like, I don't think there's too many people out there that are like, oh, I really want to play this PC only game, like a new Age of Empires or something like that, where it's like, I can only play it. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm telling you, bro. And then it's like you got some people online talking about, I can't wait to play God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2 on my Steam Deck.
Like, that's cool from like a theoretical perspective.
Connor, ain't nobody playing that bullshit with them funky-ass analog sticks.
No, I understand, because one, who wants to play it on like a small screen? I would rather play it on a TV or a bigger monitor.
And then also to go off that point, right? To buy the dock, you got to pay more fucking money. So I'll
honestly tell you, instead of spending money on the Steam Deck and getting the dock to connect it to your monitor or your TV, just go get yourself a Samsung tablet. When you connect it through HDMI, it turns into a Samsung Dex. Bam, there's your PC done.
Yeah, this motherfucker spitting.
So one thing I would recommend is the Oculus Quest, because honestly, with the Oculus Quest, you can actually remote play on your PC too. Huh. But that's if you can handle having a headset on your head for for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So that's up to you if you want to go with that.
Yeah. Steam Deck. There you go.
Steam Deck is my new doorstopper.
I just can't believe how fucking big the thing is. Like, you're telling me during the design process they weren't like, yeah, we could make this smaller, but
Then just needed to add that extra slot for that SD card, bro. So bam.
I mean, it's supposed to be a pretty decent PC, right? That's the highest tier, right?
I'm just wondering how big the chip is, because they said that it's their own fucking in-house built chip, right? So I'm just imagining.
Valve is such an interesting company that makes the weirdest decisions.
Are they bandwagoning right now? Like, are they hot?
I don't know.
Are they biting?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Biting hard. Ugh.
Do you think so, Bam? Because I don't know
I
if
think
Valve's
so.
like thinking this is going to be a Switch killer. I don't think
You
they're
know-
thinking that when they're making.
You know what they
Or do
see?
you think they're
You know what
just
they
like,
see?
let's just make one?
Yeah,
You know
because
what they
they're
see?
yeah, exactly. That's exactly
look.
what I think it is. Like with
I'm
the
gonna tell you why they
controller.
did it. I'm gonna tell you why they did it. Right? They know PC gamers will hack these Nintendo games and play these games on the Steam Deck at, you know what I'm saying, at 1440p.
Okay, do the
100
emulator
FPS.
shit. Yeah.
So I'm
No.
pretty sure the average gamer who knows this type of stuff, you know, that frequents these spaces that we're in, the people buying these Steam Decks, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be the people who are going to be posting screenshots of them playing Breath of the Wild,
Yeah.
Mario, and all this other shit at 1440p 60 or over 100 FPS. Flaunting
I-
that.
I just love that the entire PC community is like, yeah, fuck Nintendo. I'm gonna steal their games.
Nah,
Yep.
bro, I'll honestly tell you, that's what I'm saying. If the fucking deck actually emulates a fucking Nintendo, what do you call it, Switch, and you get to play all these motherfucking games, fair dues for them, because that's just a fucking emulator at this point. It's no more than a fucking Steam Deck or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's just a
Yeah.
big ass. That's it.
Facts.
Next
But-
topic.
That's actually that's it for today. But yeah, I'm
shit.
honestly surprised how how fast people how fast people whip Nintendo games on PC. Like it's just ridiculous. Like how they're able
Yeah.
to get the early copies pretty quick.
There is a major security flaw which allows them to rip it into these ROMs and everything.
Because
and
they're dedicated.
They're
That's
Damn
really
shit.
it, man. Because these them boys is dedicated.
Right, some of
dedicated.
some of these groups are extracting the games and everything from the chip, bro.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are literally
Bro, look,
going for-
Ubisoft was literally like, "Hey, y'all can't crack our de novo security," and then within a day, it was up on the internet, and they were like, "Well, damn."
Jesus.
I remember when that happened.
Yeah, it was wild, bro.
boys are wild.
That always happens, though. Remember the Christmas debacle of PSN and all of that?
God.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
That was
Yeah.
fun.
Right. Did you know, like, it was the most weirdest thing, right? But this password is only kept for my PlayStation network, right? And I was checking my credit report, right? So this is just random. It's just random. So one of my apps, which I check my credit report on, is legit from this country anyway. So you go through, and then afterwards, there was a fucking tab where it says safety, like protect yourself online. I was there like, let's see what option they're gonna give me, like some kind of an offer for like VPN and some shit like that. Bro, I clicked on it. It's like, these are the passwords that is unsafe on your accounts. And I was there like, all right, let's have a look. Account linked to my email address. This password is only generated for PSN. Why is it saying that it's in the fucking black market? Like, what the fuck is this? Dark web, found on the dark web. I'm like, where the fuck you getting this fucking password from? So yeah, it's just the whole entire debacle about PlayStation just got me riled up on that shit.
The internet's scary.
Thanks. Very place.
Very scary
Might
place.
talk to people that be telling
So,
video game characters spit on them.
So it's time to wrap up the show. Appreciate the chat for pulling up. Appreciate you guys chiming in the chat. And let's go with our outros, and let's start with Agent Deli.
Hey guys, my name is Agent Deli. Welcome to our panel. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us here on our small little island. I'm a former AAA game developer at Ubisoft. Yeah, follow me on Twitter, and that's where I'm most accessible.
Okay, let's go with my guy from the UK, Joker Gamer V3.
Every time you keep saying my guy from the UK, it's fucking weird as shit. But anyways, thank you for having me, Krow, and welcome to our Wild Wild West podcast of the century so far, right? But anyways, y'all find me on Twitter. Sometimes I stream. I'll be streaming Sifu for quite a few days now. So until I come to stage 4, like boss number 4, like Bam Bam did in 2 hours time, I might take about 3-4 days just to come to that stage. So meanwhile, you know what I'm saying? So meanwhile, you can always follow me on Twitter. I'll just be lurking over there, watching other people's fucking tweets getting blown up. like
Yeah, it's
Deli,
fun.
for example, and I just catch entertainment out of that. So yeah, man, thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you guys check out Joker on Twitch. It's definitely a fun time. And also Agent Deli. Agent Deli is hilarious on stream. Make sure you guys check him out.
I'm unhinged on stream. Like, there's not, that's the problem.
Yeah. All right, let's go with the homie Bam Bam V3.
Yeah, man. As always, man. I'm not an ex-developer. I'm not from the UK. I'm just a random, boring black guy who plays video games. And Crow keeps inviting me back to the show.
I really love.
Nah, you're cool, fam. Yo, I appreciate you.
Look at Ben. Look how
appreciate you.
humble he is.
Oh my god!
But yeah, man. Just like Crow said, everybody who came by, man, we appreciate you guys. Please check out Crow's channel. Crow makes great content. He's a very good content creator. He's up and coming. Check out Deli. Deli is a very, very colorful person online. Inside this podcast, you may not have seen it, but Deli really don't give a fuck. And check out Connor. Connor's videos. His latest video hit 14K. I will always tell
15K now. Oh.
15, but I will always tell everybody who's willing to listen. SoapBoxGames is gonna be a channel one day that's gonna hit 1 million subs, and I'm gonna be in the comments being ignored by this man saying I was here. I was here.
We were here since 2013, bro. Come at me.
That's gonna be me. But yeah, man, thanks, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I do appreciate your I do appreciate your energy and your enthusiasm. So let's go with Connor, aka SoapBoxGames.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again. This was super fun. I really enjoyed this one, talking to you guys. Make sure you follow Bam just for hardcore gamer takes on Twitter. He has the best ones. Follow Deli. Deli's always great on Twitter. He's always coming up with a good hot take, one or two. Follow Joker. Follow Krow. Yeah, my socials, SoapBoxGames for Twitter and YouTube. Go check out my recent video, which is titled Why I'm Done with the DCEU. And then I should have something by this week because I keep promising Bam that I'm going to release it, but I just keep sort of getting copyright strikes. So
I'm waiting, bro. I've been waiting.
It should be. It should. I'm hoping for Friday because I've basically had to replace all of the second half's footage because it was basically got copyrighted by Xbox. So
dang.
So we'll see. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. And once again, thanks for having me on. It was super fun.
Yeah, for sure. And it's definitely a great show. And some of you guys were wilding tonight, but it's definitely a great discussion. And if you guys do tune in later, and if you do catch the show later, if you do make it this far, y'all are the real MVPs. I do appreciate you, and I do appreciate y'all coming out in the chat, showing your support live. And this is your boy, Theslykrow, and this is the end of Nest Talk. And catch you guys for the next one. Peace.